Hi, well, greetings. It's Ed Condon with Head Start West. Excited to have you join me this morning to learn a little bit more about the Leadership Challenge, the course that we offer here at Head Start West in Orange County this May 2026. So look forward to your participation. And hopefully this informational webinar will answer some of the questions for you or those you're interested in signing up for the program. Before we get started in my presentation, I'd like to introduce you to the course of Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner.
Imagine mobilizing others to make extraordinary things happen while building meaningful relationships in the process. That's you at your leadership best.
If you want to get there, we can show you a clear path to follow.
It's clear that a better world starts with better leaders. But what if leadership is not a gift from birth, not something you were born with? What if leadership is a gift that can be given to those around us, to our organizations, and to the world? The Leadership Challenge is a global campaign to liberate the leader in everyone. We believe that our teams, our organizations, and our world gets better when ordinary people enable those around them to make extraordinary things happen. That's why Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner have gathered evidence on exactly what great leaders actually do. And we've distilled that evidence into 5 clearly defined practices that anyone can follow to get breakthrough results and make an enormous contribution in any company, campus, or organization around the world. Great leaders model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, enable others to act, and encourage the heart. The Leadership Challenge model is based on over 30 years of research by Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner. Under the guidance of their vision, we've created pathways for everyone, from students to managers to CEOs, to get started on their leadership journeys. Our leadership development tools are all designed with a single goal in mind: to liberate the leader within everyone. So where do you start? Developing extraordinary leaders begins by identifying where you and your team members are in your personal leadership journeys. The Leadership Practices Inventory, LPI, will enable you to measure your leadership competencies and act on those discoveries. You'll gain a deep insight into how you see yourself, how others view you, and what you can do to improve your effectiveness. Over 3 million people have used the LPI as their first step. We're all looking for evidence and clarity, and that is especially important when you are taking the journey toward leadership. Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner built the Leadership Challenge not on a hunch or a personal vision, but on exhaustive research. Today, our model is proven to liberate the leader within. Are you ready to achieve the extraordinary?
And I think that's a great place to kick off our conversation, and that is to liberate the leader within. Here at Head Start West, we really believe in the Leadership Challenge model for a number of reasons. Not just because of the evidence and the great research that the model is based on. That's critical. But we also recognize how transportable this model is. And over the 10 years plus that I've been facilitating the Leadership Challenge workshop, what I've noticed is, regardless of where you are in the organization, this strengthens you to really have a language, to have a framework, to have a starting point, and to have a common set of discussion points with your colleagues on the right way to move forward and the key elements of a great organizational culture. So, are you looking to build greater trust within those you work with each day? Is trust, as it is for most of us, foundational to accomplishing the kind of environments that you want to work in and want to lead? Are you, looking at cooperation, collaboration? Are you looking at the ability to move people collectively with a shared sense of ideals and goals and resources? Do you feel your vision would benefit your team, but have yet to really launch and think about how that vision aligns? Personal, organizational, maybe it's a vision for your site, maybe it's a vision for your organization, maybe it's a vision that helps you just to better link your energies and enthusiasm with the setting that you work in. Do you feel that if you were to share that with your team, that you could elevate them in some way and maybe discover the visions that they have for the work that they're doing? Is it important for you to help others grow, to strengthen them, to encourage them, to celebrate them along the way? Are you really looking to develop your own individual strengths? As you look at the work that you do, the approach that you make, do you sometimes feel untethered or lost and need more framework, need more direction on the behaviors that are going to result in the most effective organization for the interests you have? So we know that this leadership challenge framework responds to each of those. Now, I am your facilitator for the course. I chose this picture because it's probably my greatest joy at this time, my new granddaughter. But I've been working since 2000 in the Head Start community and really have been committed both at Head Start California, the National Head Start Association, and now with Head Start West to really elevate Head Start organizations in such a manner that they accomplish more for those who count on us each and every day. I take great joy in bringing the leadership challenge to the communities that we serve and have in the past 10 years facilitated workshops for almost 1,000 Head Start employees. The Leadership Challenge workshop is a very resource-rich opportunity. First, there's the pre-work, the work that we do on the leadership practices inventory that was shared by the video that you saw. Then we have our 2-day workshop, and at that time we work collectively in an environment where we have both individual reflections, some small and larger work, so that we can garner the excitement and the interest and the ideas and address the challenges that are brought by others in the room. We try to do hands-on exercises where we're actually constructing and working collectively across various modalities. We do action planning at the very end, and then we also provide some post-training coaching so that as you re-enter the space that you're leading, again, whether that be a classroom, a site, or an agency, we're there to help you think about starting points, about effective plans that will impact the environments you care so greatly about. Let me say a little bit more about the pre-work because it is important. The Leadership Practices Inventory, the LPI, is offered within the first or the 14 days prior to the actual training itself. And we refer to that as a 360 in that it won't be just your assessment of your leadership behaviors, but it will be the assessment of others around you. That'd be your manager or those who report to you, colleagues who are your equals, or individuals from past organizations, volunteer organizations, or other community engagements that you have. They'll paint a picture for you of how you show up. They'll give you feedback in a mathematical way of your behavioral frequency, and they'll also offer you direction on what they see you doing right and what they think you should do more of. They'll also provide you with details on areas in which you should consider setting goals or resetting some of your behaviors. And as you can see on the screen there, the Leadership Practices Inventory is a series of behaviors. There are 30 in total, and these behaviors are each organized within the 5 practice areas, and they offer you that score, both your score, your average score, your manager's score, and others who participate. We also have you do some pre-work essays, not more than about 20 minutes in total. And this helps us to understand and for you to understand your goals in this space. So the pre-work is important and we help you facilitate that prior to the workshop beginning. And as I say, then we have our workshop, we have then the activities and the ongoing action planning. And why do we do this? So why does this matter so much? So a couple of facts I want to come back to, and that is that in 24-25, Gallup, which is probably the premier organization that looks at workforces, identified that almost 17% of our workforce is actively disengaged. 31% of employees are engaged, leaving a significant gap in the number of individuals who are available to influence. 31% being engaged, 17% being disengaged. There's a great middle of individuals that we can activate, we can lead, we can get additional commitments from by treating them with dignity and respect, communicating, listening to them, identifying the feedback to help strengthen them. And we know from that very same researcher that when people feel inspired and motivated and supported in their work, they do more. They do it with more joy. They feel more purpose. And of course, well-being and wellness is such an essential issue in our community as we look at the ongoing challenges with our funding, our flat funding, enrollment challenges, and other pressures on our system. So leadership matters greatly, especially in times where there is this compressed issue of funding and in some regards, the uncertainty that we have seen in the last 2 years. Let's take a moment and hear from the leadership at the Boys and Girls Club. Now, the Boys and Girls Club of America have really taken on the leadership challenge organization-wide, and I thought they offered some really wonderful insights I want you to know about.
In Boys and Girls Clubs, one of our primary focuses is providing the next generation of leaders. But in order to do that from a youth perspective, we need to empower and equip our employees and volunteers to demonstrate sound leadership practices.
Focusing on leadership, not just management, was going to be crucial. And when we looked at the different things available to focus on leaders, we knew that having a similar language, looking at true competencies and practices that a leader needed to know and have, the leadership challenge just made sense.
The Leadership Challenge has helped us create a culture of leadership, both in local clubs and in our national organization, by giving us the common language to talk about leadership. Its impact is felt daily. It just becomes the natural way in which we do our work.
The Leadership Challenge is really agnostic, and it allows us to really, anybody can take this and find a way to develop an action plan, a growth plan, a professional development plan for themselves, and it doesn't matter what your title is. What I saw at BGCA especially were more individuals raise themselves up to the occasion to say, oh, I actually never considered the fact that I'm a leader because I don't have 5 or 10 people reporting to me, so I saw myself as a manager, but I didn't see myself as a leader. Honestly, so much of that language are things that over the last 20, 30 years in our own development of training of staff have already existed, but the Leadership Challenge put them all in a nice bubble. And I think the cake on top for me was the 30 years of research behind it.
We've done some analysis, and the data is showing that we're seeing increases in club experience. We're seeing higher metrics and key performance indicators.
Even during the pandemic, we were able to have more than 80% employee engagement results, and we're now pushing 90% as an organization. We're able to have more meaningful relationships with our young people and our clubs, which then in terms helps us deliver on our mission.
Great leaders create great workplaces that create great club experiences. The Leadership Challenge really helped us hone in on building great leaders that we know that could create the workplace environments that young people and employees thrived in.
I love the thought that self-discovery, that self-awareness and self-development were so highlighted in their organization, from those who worked in local clubs to those who were management to the national organization. And this idea that self-discovery is really about finding voice and identifying how it is that you show up, that Vision, of course, being aware of how you impact others, looking at the process to ensure that we are problem solving and creating the best solutions for the teams that we influence. And of course, enabling others, that self capacity to see others succeed and celebrate that success. And of course, the encouragement, bringing forward that idea of celebration of small wins and individual achievement. So as we go through this leadership framework, based in the data that's shared about how you appear, how you behave as a leader, you'll find new discoveries. You'll increase in your own awareness, and of course, setting forward that goal for development of areas in which you can be more frequently a leader in this space. As I shared, we close our workshop and then support you on an ongoing basis with action planning. We look at action planning in a 30-day framework, a 60-day and 90-day, with the idea of how do you take this information back to those you report to, your manager, your superior in some way. And then how you take that information also out to those you work with, those who are adjacent to you or reporting to you. And then, of course, we continue to encourage these accountability partners where you're working with someone from the workshop, from the course, who can help you identify what are the milestones you wish to achieve, identifying patterns that are effective and patterns that are distractive in that first period of time, because you'll have that increased awareness over how those behavioral impacts affect those around you and those you're wishing to elevate. And then lastly, as I said at the beginning, we offer this ongoing coaching. So we go back to the LPI and really look at greater depth of what is it that may be in your way that you want to move to improve your leadership behaviors, or what is it that you really want to accelerate on, and looking at those strengths and those abilities that are innate to you. Next steps for the workshop is to register. Join us in May. Get moving, because we have about a 14-day pre-work period that's coming up. Of course, attending the workshop, establishing your action plan, following up with your accountability partner, being committed to that process, and then moving forward in monitoring the impacts of your behavior, always being ready to consider, reflect, and draw upon the data that's been shared with you. So we're excited to offer this course again in May. We offer this course typically twice per year, and we'll be probably doing another in December. So this will be your one chance to jump in the spring. We hope to see you at the Leadership Challenge Workshop in Orange County, May 13th and 14th. Thank you.